Congratulations, dude.
It's a great work of art.
My favorite award today.
Thank you.
One of the things we do every year for Concorso Italiano, our Best of Show Award, is we work with the designer in Italy to create the award. We work with a fabricator in Italy to fabricate the award. And the end result is a very beautiful creation. This year, but he created something quite beautiful, and it's translucent, almost looks like Jello.
In 2006, I come to Concorso Italiano, and I walk over a hill, and there is a group of beautiful Bizzarrinis. I've never seen a Bizzarrini. I couldn't spell Bizzarrini, and I had absolutely no idea who Bizzarrini was. And so I went on a mission to find one, though. And there was one for sale in the world. An old Italian gentleman named Walter Giovanelli had bought up a bunch of sports cars when the market collapsed back in the late 80s, early 90s. And it was red, it ran, and so I brought it home. And about a year later, I'm sitting there reading the Bizzarrini ESO magazine for the Owners Club, and this is why I always tell everybody, if you own a vintage sports car, you must join the club, because these guys have so much information that can help you. It's just unbelievable. And so I'm reading in there, it says there's an article, whatever happened to number 265, and the article went on to say, other than the two Le Mans winning class winning Bizzarrinis at Le Mans, it's probably the most famous Bizzarrini in the world because it's been in all the movies. The original owner was a Hollywood stunt driver named Kerry Lofton, and Lofton made a deal with the producers to let him put his car in a little cameo appearance for all of the stunt driving that he did during the movies during the 60s and 70s. And it was a fascinating article, and they said, this car's dropped off the radar screen, nobody knows where it is. If you have any information, please call the club. And I thought, well, I better go look. So I go out there in the garage and open up the hood and look down there, and sure enough, there's 265 alive and well in Tyler, Texas. So I let the club know, and man, once that happened, my life changed. There was a fabulous guy in the club, still is, a fellow named Steve Piper from Germany. And he calls me one day, he says, Billy, this is Steve, and I have something you're going to want. And I said, really? He said, yes. He said, I was going to buy a car from Kerry Lofton's grandson, and I have a file that was handed to me, and it has all the original documentation of your car, going back to the build sheets and how everything was spec'd out and everything. And if you'd like that, I want to bring it to you because you need this. And I'm like, dude, you're in Germany. He said, well, I'm in the United States from time to time. And so he came to see me. We put him up in our home, and I said, man, you've got beer for life, because this was an amazing moment to be able to have the documents, so that once we figured out we had a more than just an ordinary pedestrian car, we could do literally an NCRS level restoration. The National Corvette Restore Society, which I'm a member of, does all the fastidious, research down to the correct lock washers and all the, wiring and all that stuff. So I engaged a team, Restore, Jeff Snyder from Taylor, Texas, Jack Coombs de Hartug, who's the foremost authority on Bizzarrini, who incidentally is still alive at like 95. It was a 9-year restoration. As soon as it was finished, the National Corvette Museum wanted it for a special exhibition they were doing on American-powered cars built by other manufacturers. And so for 10 years, it's kind of been this ghost car that everyone in my community knows I've got one, but no one's ever seen it. And so we finally got it out of the Corvette Museum. We said, well, we'll take it to a show or two, and then we got some invites to some different things. And so this was, we were planning on this kind of being our last show.
We drove that car in the Copper State 1000, drove it 1,000 miles before it was restored, when it was red in color, before it was the original color. And I can vouch for the drivability and the reliability of that car. It's a fantastic car, and as he mentioned, it's one of the few cars that he or my father have ever bought to restore that actually ran when they bought it, which was a big plus.
Yeah, usually we buy them in boxes.
Yes,
But,
and to put a button on this whole story, Stratton graduated from the University of Oxford 3 weeks ago today after a 2-year delay from COVID, and to come here and win Best of Show with one of our cars was pretty much the icing on the cake.
Pretty incredible. Thank you guys. It's just unbelievable.
Thank you.